Right, something different on the channel midweek. Little Q&A, and I'm going to start hopefully doing a little midweek update on my fishing, my plans for the weekend, and a bit about where my fishing is at the moment, what I plan to do. So yeah, right at the moment we're just on the end of May, beginning of June. My mind is turning towards the rivers a bit now. The series for catching the gems of the lake, pretty much on that course, the target fish. The fish that are in there are between 14 and 18 pound, and I think we've probably caught a good percentage of them. It means what you will catch will be repeat captures, and there might be one fish in there that's probably 18-20 pound. It's whether or not it's worth doing the same thing, and I'm wading through the numbers for that one. But yeah, 2 weeks till the rivers start, and my mind now is building towards that. Recently joined a club that I was in a few years ago, so we'll be back on the banks of the River Dane, and I'm hoping this year to do a bit more barbel fishing. But yeah, that's my update on where my mind is at the moment with the fishing. The next 2 weeks I'm hoping to get on the canal and do a bit, and maybe a new series on a proper carp lake that I've got near me with the carp rods, proper carp, like carp fishing. That's an idea that I have got as well. There's a lot of things in the pipe work, and there is a few product reviews that companies have got in touch with as well, so they'll be on the channel in the coming weeks. So yeah, that's a little update on the channel. The first question I had in was on Facebook, and it was asking about what my first fishing memory was. I can remember, everyone remembers the first time they go fishing. I was lucky enough to grow up on the banks next to the Bridgewater Canal in Runcorn, so I was literally a 2-minute walk from the canal. Me and my dad used to walk up past the busway onto the canal, and started off with a little whip, and we called it a snatcher. And my first fish was definitely a perch, but I remember that day catching a bream and my dad laughing because let's say I didn't play it, I kind of lifted it out. Yeah, so my earliest memory is going up the canal at the age of 4 fishing with my dad. Yeah, got happy memories, and the amount of times we went up there, it was every Saturday. We just used to go fishing together. The earliest memory I remember of being on the canal, and there's so many. See, I haven't got no pictures. We never used to take a camera back then. You know, now you've got your camera phone and like you see. But I remember going up the Christmas day. My dad and my mum bought me my first fishing box. It was a shaky box, a blue Shakespeare box, and they bought me my first fishing rod, which was from Scotty's in Northwich, if anyone remembers that. And we went up the canal, and it was freezing, absolutely freezing cold. And yeah, my dad sat up there, and I think we lasted about an hour before I said it was freezing, had to come home. And I think my dad had been fishing for probably 20 years by then, and my mum had never made him one brew. I come in, and she had she had soup and everything for me, and my dad went mad. But yeah, that's my first few fishing memories from a kid. Second question is about rivers. Actually, I was going to save this one for a few weeks time. I was asked about what floats are used for the river. That generally, I've got lots more obviously, but I've picked out them ones as the general floats that I would say cover most of my fishing. We'll start with the small rivers. So the small rivers like River Dane and small, the small shallow, say up to 4 or 5 foot deep. I generally would use a float like that. So, that's a 3 or 4 number 4, up to about a 6 number 4, like that. As you can see, light floats, and they'll do you for all the small rivers. And say if you've got a hook length on, you're generally not going to lose your float. You get stuck on bottom, you lose everything, your hook length, but you get your floats back unless you get stuck. on a tree or something like that. Moving up in the rivers, and you move on to the deeper stretches of the River Dane and stuff like that, and onto the River Dee. And let's say that's when you move up to like a 12 number 4 and a 10 number 4. Both different tops. So in both varieties, I've got different tops. You've got dome tops and the thin tops, and we'll go into the different ones that I use them for when we actually fish in the river. And then obviously you move on to your River Mersey and the Dee, the deep parts of the Dee, and that's when you move on to your bollos. And you have a 3, 4 and 5 gram bollo depending. But yeah, as a selection of floats that'll do you for all scenarios, having a 6 or a 4 to 6 number 4 in a small top and a dome top in case you're going over shallows like that. And then moving on to your bigger rivers, 10s to 6 to 14 number 4 will cover, for your casual fishing. I'm not talking about having the perfect float for the perfect swim, but for covering your options on them rivers, yeah, a 10 number 4 to a 14 number 4 dome top and a thin top like that. And generally 6 number 4 to an 8 number 4 will cover you for the smaller rivers. They're just the basic ones that I carry. Right, so the final question that's been asked is, am I a member of Warrington Anglers? And the answer to that question is quite simply, I am, and I have been for the last seven years, I think. I'm a continuous member, and I did have a falling out with the club on Facebook a few years ago. Quite simply, I didn't agree with the amount of carp that was stocked into waters. It was disproportionate to the silver angler. Obviously, you can't spend the same amount on silvers as you do carp, but when you're getting up to 600 individual carp stock, this was 3 years ago I think, they were up to 600 carp stock between 10 and 20 pound, and in that time I counted back on Frank's column and there was three stock into silvers I think it was. So yeah, I just didn't agree with the proportion of money spent on carp to silver fish, and I thought they should be doing more to stock quality silvers into some of the waters as well as the carp. But yeah, that was the reason why I fell out with the club, and yes, I am still a member of Warrington Anglers. Right, so that concludes the first episode of whatever I call it, question time, something like that. I have got a few more questions that were asked when I asked on social media, so they'll be in the next episode. If you've got any and you're on YouTube, questions that you'd like answering, then yeah, by all means drop them in the comments below, and I'll do more of these videos, yeah, and we'll look at different aspects of my fishing that I might find that people may find interesting. But yeah, I've got a few questions saved up, so there'll be more episodes of this. And till then, tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you next time.